Bye-bye, dum-dum. Try not to eat all the neighbors' chickens while I'm gone. Hello again. So here we are in San Diego. The time has finally come. My family and I will be headed to the southern terminus of the Pacific Crest Trail tomorrow morning at roughly 9 o'clock is when I'm hoping to be there. It's only about an hour away from here, so we're not in really any big hurry. I'm not going to be trying to put any big miles in on the first couple weeks, so I'm not worried about getting there and getting out right before the sun hits. So be there about 9 o'clock, and I'll get started on this incredible long walk. So Friday morning, we didn't have to wake up early. Our flight was out at 12:30 p.m. So we were able to just cruise, do things nice and slow, say goodbye to everybody. And my mother-in-law and brother-in-law drove my wife and son and I to the airport, and we headed off for San Diego. So as soon as we got here, we got our rental car, came to the hotel. We're here at the Hotel Indigo in the Gaslamp District. I knew nothing about the Gaslamp District before I got here. I told my wife, I want this weekend to be absolutely amazing. You just pick whatever hotel you want and go for it. So she showed me a picture of this hotel, and I said, let's do it. So here we are at the Hotel Indigo. It's a pretty cool place. It's got a really nice room. It's got the biggest shower I've ever seen of any hotel I've ever been in. It's just been, all in all, a really nice place to stay. It's had really good breakfast in the mornings. I'm a big fan of having good breakfast in the morning when you stay at a hotel. I don't know why. I don't really eat breakfast on a normal basis, but for some reason when I stay in a hotel, I gotta have breakfast. I don't know why. But so as I mentioned in in my previous video, we did spend the weekend doing some touristy things. We met my parents here. We went and got some pizza down the street at a place that I honestly don't remember the name of. There's like 200 and something restaurants in this area alone that you can walk to from this hotel. It's absolutely insane. I'm not usually a city person, still not really a city person, but this is a very pedestrian-friendly city. Yesterday, my son and I downloaded this thing called Razor app, and there's these little scooters all over town, and we were just like, you know what, let's do this. So we scanned into one of these little scooters and just rode all over the place. He sat on the little foot deal at the bottom. It was a lot of fun. Yesterday morning, my mom joined my wife and son and I, and we went to the San Diego Zoo. We had heard that it was one of the best zoos in the country, so we went to check it out, and it was really cool. They had a lot of really good information. They had this bus tour that you could take, and the guy that was driving the bus was very knowledgeable about not only the park, its history, but he was also quite knowledgeable about the animals that he was showing us too. So that was really fun. Gave us an idea of where we wanted to walk around. We did the Skytram thing that they've got, which is really cool. While we were at the zoo, I got a phone call from a trail angel named Larry Bevins. He found me here on YouTube, and it just so happened that he was transporting a friend of mine from South Korea, who I've been talking back and forth with on Instagram for about 3 months now. He just happened to be the one that was taking him from the San Diego airport to the terminus. His name is Geo Peck, and he just so happened to be starting the PCT the same day that I landed here in San Diego. It was a complete coincidence, but it was super awesome. So we all met up for lunch. We had a great time. Tried to ease Geo Peck into the United States by getting him a big hamburger and some amazingly large onion rings before he hit the trail. So Geo Peck actually started yesterday afternoon. I believe today he is in Lake Morena, and he's staying in Lake Morena tonight, and I am going to hope to catch up to him sometime within the next couple weeks, because he's a very interesting man. Doesn't speak English very well, but he speaks just enough that we can have a great conversation. So I'm very much looking forward to running into him on the trail and getting to learn more about him, where he's from, and a little bit about his history, because it sounds very, very interesting in the conversations that we've had through email and through Instagram over the last few months. So last night, the whole family went up to the rooftop bar on the 9th floor here at the Hotel Indigo. I believe it's called the Level 9 Bar. It's a pretty cool place. It's got some really awesome fire pits, a lot of lounges that you can lay around on. We just sat up there and talked about whatever came to mind. It's been very nice to just be able to hang out, not really have any expectations of what we're going to do each day and each night. Other than going to the zoo and going kayaking today, we had no other plans, so it's been nice to just kind of hang out with the family for the one last big hurrah weekend before I set foot on the trail. But today, my wife and I took my son to, I believe they're called the Jolla Caves. Don't quote me on that, I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. But we took a kayaking tour. There was about 7 other kayaks out there with us, and 2 amazing tour guides that were full of information, full of energy, and they had a lot of cool things to tell us about these caves. We even did get to go inside one of these caves, which was awesome, but it was very narrow, and we had to make sure that we were paddling very quickly so that the tour guide who was steering us, she was in the water on the back of our boat steering us around. So I didn't get a chance to shoot any footage of that one, but it was really cool and my son had a great time. After the kayaking, the tour guides told my son that he could keep the wetsuit for a little while because I think the water was like 56 degrees, they said today. Pretty cold. First time I've ever been in a wetsuit, and I'm saving all of you guys the ridiculousness that was this in a wetsuit. That was probably one of the most uncomfortable things I have ever been in, but it was definitely worth it given the chill factor of the water today. But they told my son that he could keep his for a few more hours if he wanted, so we took him down to the beach and let him play. He hasn't been to the beach since we lived in Hawaii a couple years ago, and he didn't want to leave yet, so we went ahead and let him play there for a little while before heading on back to the hotel. Once I got back to the hotel, we just kind of hung around. My wife and I took a nap for like probably 2 hours. I have only been sleeping 4 to 5 hours a night for the last couple weeks, and I think it finally caught up with me. So I'm not sure how much sleeping I'm gonna do tonight, considering I will hit the terminus tomorrow morning, which still doesn't feel real, but it was nice to get a little bit of rest in while we had the chance. So right now, I'm about to head out and meet my wife and son, who are off in search of ice cream, riding little scooters around town. The next time I see you guys, I will have taken my very first steps on the PCT. As I mentioned before, there will be a little bit of lag in my videos. I will probably post my first video Thursday, March 21st, I believe it is. Not this coming Thursday, but the Thursday after. So if you're interested, stick around. Sundays and Thursdays starting March 21st, I will be uploading my trail videos. This is it, guys. This is what I've been dreaming of for years, planning for strictly for a year, and the time has now come. Tomorrow morning is when I start. I still can't believe it. I don't think it's gonna feel real for a couple weeks until I realize that I'm not going home for quite some time. Thank you again to all of you who have been following me along through this crazy adventure of finding gear that I think is going to work for me, changing up gear, talking about gear, non-stop. I really do appreciate it. And for those of you who this might be the first time to my channel, or this is the first video of mine that you are seeing, if you're interested in following me along on my PCT adventure that starts in less than 12 hours, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and follow along. See you guys on the trail.